There was a story posted on CNN telling about a guy that had claimed to be fired for being a brony. This story kind of irked me. The basics of it is that he claims that over the past year, he had been continually harassed for being a fan of the show and ultimately ended up being fired over it. Where it started about a year ago or so, where he works, they work in cubicles, he works at a computer, and he had put an Applejack wallpaper on his computer. He didn't think anything of it because other people had had personal wallpapers as well, their own sports teams and things like that. But he gets called into the office, and his boss tells him that he has to remove it. Oh, it makes people uncomfortable. So he doesn't fight it. He just does it, keeps his mouth shut, and he just lets it go. Sometime later, him and his colleagues were having a conversation about different stuff that they liked, and he happened to bring up again that he liked My Little Pony. That he was a fan of the show, that he liked the music, all this stuff. And he got mocked for it by his coworkers. And again, he just shrugged it off. And again, he gets called into the office and gets a talking to by his boss. Saying that that he shouldn't talk about that and that it makes him uncomfortable and all this. Then sometime later, his coworkers and them are all having a get-together where they bring their kids. He has a son. His son likes sports. He doesn't really like sports that much, but his son likes it, and he was wearing a sports shirt. Brings his kid to the office, and they have their little get-together. And his other coworkers were talking to his son, telling him what a nice shirt he has, or talking to him about sports and all this. One of his other coworkers had a daughter. She comes in with a Rainbow Dash t-shirt, and he just says offhand, "Nice shirt." That was it. That's all he says. And again, he gets called in the office, gets talked to by his boss, and this time they actually fire him. And right now, CNN is investigating to find out all the details because it was just based on a Reddit post. So whether it's true or not, I could believe it happens because I've seen people get attacked for this shit. And what bothers me is that it's continually this double standard where anybody else can express their interest, whatever it may be, and nobody bats an eye at it. But for some reason, bronies are weird and freaks, and they get called out all the time. If you have a pony avatar, you get called names. They call you a faggot or a horsefucker, or any other vile and nasty things that they can possibly say. And they say, "Oh, you're invading other fandoms because you might put up a piece of art that has, maybe Pinkie Pie and N7 armor from Mass Effect, or a pony that looks like a Spartan from Halo, or any number of different things," and they get talked about that they're invading other fandoms, that they're a cancer, and all this other shit. And you see this all the time, but when it happens with other fandoms, nobody ever bats an eye. And especially with sports, people put that in your face all the time. You can't go 10 feet outdoors without running into somebody with a jersey. You can't go into any group of people without somebody mentioning, or trying to ask you what have you been following this team? Have you been following that team? Or what are your thoughts in the game last night? And it's continual, in your face, trying to shove their fandom in your face all the time. And you get it with, you always get the knock on the door, at least once a week, somebody trying to, with their little book, to get you into their little club. And again, nobody tells them that they can't exist, or that they're not allowed to be, in their fandom. They're not allowed to express interest in their fandom. You get on YouTube all the time. If you mention Pony in a video that isn't related to it, then you get yelled at. Even though people have done it for years. People have done it all the time. Where you see usernames and avatars for any number of video games, any comic book characters, Star Wars, Star Trek, Pokemon, and people bring the shit up in other videos. Nobody ever says a word to them. But for Pony, it's weird. And they mention Rule 34, and that it's wrong for, any My Little Pony fans to be interested in Rule 34. And again, they don't comment on it on any other video, in any other fandom. I'm not into it, but yet I get accused of being into it just because a few other fans are. And it's just complete hypocrisy. Where it's, nobody says any, if you go out in your jersey, nobody says anything. If you go out with your face painted and a cheese hat on, you might get a weird look, but nobody tells you that you're a cancer. Nobody tells you that you shouldn't exist. Nobody issues death threats against you because you're a fan of a particular sports team. And if they do, nobody calls them out on it. Where you get sports fans that riot in the streets because their favorite team lost. Hell, they riot in the streets if their favorite team wins. And again, nobody says that this shouldn't exist. Nobody says that these teams should be abolished, that sports should go away. And people talk about, other fandoms, and I've been in other fandoms, and I don't get called out for being an anime fan. I don't get attacked for being a Star Trek fan. In fandoms, they get invaded all the time, supposedly invaded. Even in the Pony fandom, you can't go 5 feet without running into a Doctor Who parody. So, it's this double standard that just fucking annoys me. And I don't get the mentality. I don't get why they're so wrong, that bronies are so wrong for showing interest in their fandom when nobody else has a problem with it. Nobody questions a woman that's into Transformers or that's into sports. Oh, you think it's cool. It raises your interest in them. If you find out a woman is into anime or into sports or anything like that. But a guy that's into this, that they're faggots and they're horse fuckers. When will people learn to not give a shit what other people think? As a brony, I don't care that they don't like it. But it's always been a pet peeve of mine trying to tell somebody that they're not allowed to like something, or attacking someone because of something that they like. That irks me. I don't care if you don't like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just stay away from it. I'm on a Terry Pratchett website for, about Discworld books and other works that he's done, and people talk about Doctor Who all the fucking time. You know, and I like it. It's alright. I'm not a huge fan of it, but what I've seen that I've enjoyed. But they put it out there all the time. But it doesn't bother me. I just go away. If somebody talks about something that doesn't interest me, if somebody asks me about sports, you know, I'll smile and nod and, you know, or I might give my opinion or whatever. The most I ever watch sports, I watch the Super Bowl. You know, I'll watch it when friends have a party. You know, I'll go and I'll enjoy the atmosphere. Good food, good drink, time with friends. You know, and I'll get in. I might even watch the game. I might even get into it if it's real close. But overall, it doesn't interest me. But I don't begrudge somebody for what they like. But when you try to tell somebody else that they're not allowed to like something, or that they're not allowed to show an interest in what they like, and then you turn around and shove your fandom, whatever you're into, in their face, and nobody questions you on it, you know, that's bullshit. You know, if you don't like it, don't watch it. If somebody comes into your video talking about it, ignore it. You don't have to respond. If you think of them as trolls, deal with them the way you would deal with any other troll. Don't feed them. Just ignore them. Go away. If they really are doing it to bother you, if that's what you think, then by showing them that it bothers you is just feeding into them, like with any other trolls. You know, and I say that it irks me, but it doesn't offend me when somebody attacks me. I've gotten death threats for it. And, you know, it doesn't offend me. I don't lash out and get angry at them. But I just don't understand this double standard, this mentality of you don't like something that I don't like, or you like something that I don't like, so I'm going to attack you for it. Just go away. Just ignore it. Or if you do respond, there's no reason to call names. There's no reason to verbally attack them for what they like. You can speak calmly and reasonably and logically, but they don't want to do that. They just want to call names and feed into stereotypes and all this other stuff. Now, I just don't get it. I never did. Even back when I was big into anime. And I've always been a dub fan. You know, I've always preferred dubs over subtitles. And the shit that you see when somebody mentions that they're a dub fan and they get attacked for it, that's the part that always irked me. You know, if you don't like it, fine. But there's no reason to tell somebody else that they're a moron or that they're retarded because they like something that you don't like. You know, and you see it in any other fandom. You know, in Star Trek, if you like Voyager, or if you like Enterprise, you're going to get attacked for it. You know, if you prefer one Doctor over another in Doctor Who, you're going to get attacked for it. And it's just this continual thing, and you see it in sports too. One team. But I don't know. I just don't get the mentality. You know, maybe they don't even believe what they say and they're just trying to troll. You know, and they're just saying shit just to piss people off. Hell, they could be fans themselves and either don't want to admit it or just like to pretend just to get rise out of people. I don't know.